All right, I believe we have Councillor Menard here, Councillor Hubley. So we have, hi Al, hi Sean. So we do have quorum. So we will begin with today's Planning Committee number 57 for Thursday, February 24th. We acknowledge that Ottawa is located on unceded territory of the Algonquin Anishinaabe Nation, whose culture and presence have nurtured and continue to nurture this land. Il est important de souligner que la ville d'Ottawa se trouve sur un territoire non cédé de la nation algonquine Anishinaabe, dont la culture et la présence ont enrichi et continuent d'enrichir ces terres. This is a public meeting to consider the proposed comprehensive official plan and zoning bylaw amendments listed as item 1 on today's agenda. For the item mentioned, only those who make oral submissions today or written submissions before the amendments are adopted may appeal the matter to the Ontario Land Tribunal. In addition, the applicant may appeal the matter to the Ontario Land Tribunal if council does not adopt an amendment within 90 days of receipt of the application for a zoning bylaw amendment. To submit written comments on these amendments prior to their consideration by City Council on March 9, 2022, please email or call the committee or council coordinator. Eric, can we do a quick roll call, please?
Councillor Dudas. Councillor Curry.
Here.
Councillor Tierney. Councillor Leeper. Councillor Brockington. Councillor Menard.
Present.
Councillor Cloutier.
Present.
Councillor Kitts.
Here.
Councillor Hubley.
Here.
Chair Moffat.
Here.
Chair Gower.
Here.
You have quorum, Chair.
Okay, I'll note that Councillor Dudas did send her regrets prior to the meeting. We have several committee members who have been attending or participating in the police board meeting, including Councillor Leeper, who's a member of the police board. So we have a number of items today. I'll go through the agenda and see if we need to hold any items. But before I do that, are there any declarations of interest this morning? I'm seeing none. Confirmation of minutes for February 10th, 2022. Are the minutes confirmed?
Confirmed.
Confirmed.
Thank you. We have a number of items that were deferred from the planning meeting of February 10th. The first is a zoning bylaw amendment for part of 6015, 6021, and 6041 Fernbank Road in.
Chair,
Yes,
sorry
sir.
to interrupt, but could we ask, there's somebody that's not muted and they're making a lot of background noise and it's hard to hear everything you're saying.
Okay. Thanks, Alan. So the zoning bylaw amendment for part of 6015, 6021, and 6041 Fernbank Road in Stittsville. We have no public delegations, but we do have the applicant here. Does this need to be held or any questions from the committee? Seeing none. For the applicant, if the committee is ready to carry this, will you need to speak? We have Melissa.
She's just coming online now, Chair.
Thank you, Art.
Hi. No, I do not need to speak.
Okay, thanks, Melissa. Are the report recommendations carried for this item?
Carried.
Carried, thank you. Okay, on item number 2, status update, Planning Committee inquiries and motions for the period ending January 28th, 2022. Is this item received?
Received.
Received.
Thank you. Item number 3, process for refinements to development agreement for World Exchange Plaza, 45 O'Connor Street. There is a technical amendment. Is Councillor Leeper here? I think he was going to move it, but since he's not, perhaps Chair Moffat could move it in his place.
I can. I assume it's the same as the one for item 4, but if you could put it on the screen, it would be helpful. I assume it's the be it resolved that legal implications section of the report be replaced with the following text. There are no legal impediments to the adoption of the recommendation in this report. Is that correct?
That's correct, Chair. Seem to be having technical difficulties with screen sharing. Oh, thank you, Kevin.
There we go.
There you go.
Okay, is the amending motion carried?
Carried.
Yeah.
Carried.
Okay, thank you. Are there any questions or any reason to hold this from the committee? Okay, I'm seeing none. Are the report recommendations carried as amended?
Carried.
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 Item number 4 is formal review and consultation process for a landmark building at 359 Kent Street and 436 and 444 McLaren Street. A note that a minor correction was made to this report pursuant to the city clerk's delegated authority to correct minor errors. As set out in the delegation of authority bylaw, references to 236 McLaren Street in the original report were replaced with 436 McLaren Street, and that corrected report was republished yesterday. And again, on this one, we have a technical amendment from Councillor Moffat. Same as the last one, I believe.
This is correct. Be it resolved that the legal implications section of the report be replaced with the following text. There are no legal impediments to the adoption of the recommendation in this report.
And is that carried?
Carried.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from committee members on this item? I'm seeing none. So are the report recommendations as amended carried?
Carried.
Carried.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to number 5, front-ending report for Robert Grant Avenue, also known as the Stittsville North-South Arterial Road from Abbott Street East to Hazeldean Road in Stittsville. Does anyone want to hold this or ask a question on this one? We do have John Riddell here as a delegation from the Fernbank Landowners Group. I see Councillor Hubley's hand up. So Councillor Hubley?
Thank you, Chair. I just want to congratulate you on getting this in place. It's been something that's been worked on for more than 5 years. The importance of that road to not just your community, but also to mine for traffic management is so critical. So I just want to congratulate you and thank the parties involved for being willing to advance this for the community. That's all.
Okay, thanks, Councillor. John, do you need to speak if the committee's ready to carry this one?
No, I do not. The Fernbank Landowners Group is in support of the report, so we're good. Thank you.
Thanks, John. I'll echo Councillor Hubley's comments. Thank you to you and your partners with the Fernbank Landowners Group. I know there's been some hoops to jump through over the last few months, and appreciate the work that you've done to help us get this in front of committee and council today, and also to staff, Stream Shen and staff. This is an important road for Stittsville and surrounding communities, not just for vehicle traffic, but it'll be the first, believe it or not, the first contiguous sidewalk from Fernbank to Hazeldean Road. That's a pretty long stretch without a sidewalk in our community, and future route for buses as well. So we cover everything in mobility with this stretch of road. Very important. Are the report recommendations carried then?
Carried.
Carried.
Carried. Thank you. Okay, so we have no in-camera items today. Are there any notices of motion or inquiries? I'm seeing none and no.
Yes, sorry, Chair. I have one. For some reason, I can't get the raise hand to work on my system this morning, but I do have an inquiry, if that's okay.
Yep, go ahead.
And I will submit this in writing as well. It's come to my attention that there's an owner who is operating under a numbered company who is purchasing homes in the Ottawa area that he is renovating and selling. The issue is that he is trying to circumvent the regulation and bylaws that residents must follow in order to obtain permits. As an example, a 4-bedroom home was just renovated into a 5-bedroom home with a 3-bedroom secondary dwelling unit for a total of 8 bedrooms. each bedroom had its own bathroom for a total of 10 bathrooms in the house. The owner listed the potential uses of this property with the cooperation of a local realtor as being a permanent Airbnb or a rent by the room property, both of which are not permitted under the current zoning. I want to say that Building Code Services and bylaw have been involved with this process for the past year and have been extremely helpful. I want to say also that I've been advised that this owner has at least 40 properties in the city that he's trying to do similar things to. And that's why I bring it to committee today in the form of an inquiry, because I think what's happening as staff is dealing with each property in isolation. And what we've learned now is that he's got this one group have at least 40 properties, maybe more, that they're trying to do this to. They entered into written agreements with our Building Code Services that they never intended to live up to. The stress and anxiety that this caused in my community to witness what this person did, it's unacceptable. I never want to see it again in my community. That's why I'm bringing it forward here today. And what I want to know is what steps can the city take to investigate not just this particular group, but if there are other examples of this going on and who are not following the excellent advice of our Building Code Services and bylaw professionals. Can a process be put in place to collect the data on such builders? I don't even want to call them builders. These are scam artists, Mr. Chair. I'm not even going to be polite about this. I want to know if a process can be put in place to collect the information on these people so that Building Code Services, when they receive an application, can deal with it properly and not in good faith hope that they will live up to the requirements that we put on anybody renovating houses and that. We've got to get a handle on this, and it's got to be a big hammer here. We've got to put a stop to what's happening. It will destroy the fabric of our neighborhoods if they're allowed to continue this, because everybody else is playing by the rules. These people are not. They're taking advantage of our residents and our city, and I want it stopped. So that's my inquiry. I hope that staff can respond as quickly as possible to what we can do to prevent this and deal with the existing properties. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Hubley. I saw Councillor Menard's hand go up earlier. Councillor Menard, did you have an inquiry or notice of motion?
That's okay, Chair. I'll take it up offline with staff. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other inquiries? And there's no other business today. So with that, we are adjourned, and our next meeting is on Thursday, March the 10th. For committee members, that's looking like quite a long agenda. So plan for a full day on that one. Have a great rest of the morning and afternoon. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.